Good happy Wednesday morning, June 8th, 2022. I'm Riley King, and happy Wednesday morning, everyone. And welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, New Hampshire health officials report 8 new COVID-19 deaths. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
And tonight, the state is reporting 8 additional deaths from COVID-19. Well, that brings New Hampshire's total to 2,555. We received 3 days worth of reports on new cases today. Those total 791 people are hospitalized with COVID-19 tonight. 27 of them are receiving COVID-specific treatment.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Gives 24-hour event supports non-profits. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now...
New Hampshire Gives is now underway.
It is a 24-hour effort to raise money for New Hampshire nonprofits. Last year, New Hampshire Gives raised $3.8 million for 600 nonprofits. So far this year, the total is more than $1.3 million, and there are still hours to go. You can just go to nhgives.org and search for the cause or organization you would like to help.
It's a very secure, easy-to-use platform, which not only allows you to give securely, but it helps you to also share with others that you're raising funds for this organization or that you're, supporting this organization. So that's really one of the great things about it. It's one of those 1 and 1 equals like 5 kinds of situations because you have so many people rallying around nonprofits.
New Hampshire Gives runs through 5 tomorrow night, so you have plenty of time to get out there and give to your favorite organization in New Hampshire.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Facebook group holds event in Bedford to continue search for Harmony Montgomery. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
And members of a Facebook group called Find Harmony Montgomery are also working tonight to bring the 8-year-old home. Set up a table outside a Market Basket in Bedford this evening, cupcakes and balloons and pictures of Harmony on display, along with information on the girl's disappearance. Right now, there is a $144,000 reward for information that helps solve this case. You can text or call the 24-hour tip line. That number is right there on your screen, 603-203-6060.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man charged with negligent homicide for killing passenger after a Conway crash. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
31-year-old Harold Hill Jr. denied bail at his hearing Tuesday after crashing his truck into the Conway Public Library. That accident causing extensive damage to 2 pillars on the front side of the building.
The passenger was slumped over to the center console, was unresponsive, breathing at a very slow rate, and rescue personnel had focused on pulling her from the vehicle first.
The passenger, 21-year-old Brooke Barron, later died. According to court documents, Hill was told his passenger needed to be tended to first as she was not alert and barely breathing. Those documents say Hill said he didn't care and wanted to get out of the truck. A detective at Tuesday's hearing says Hill denied drinking that night.
Mr. Hill was yelling. He could smell the odor, the stinking odor of alcohol beverage from his breath. And given the nature of the accident,
detective says Hill spent time at the O Club Bar and Grill. Surveillance video showed him walking uneasy and apparently intoxicated as he left. The detective says Hill's car was seen on the wrong side of the road making donuts in the parking lot before the crash. A black box taken from the truck showed Hill was traveling 90 miles an hour on a road with a speed limit of 30 miles an hour.
And the O Club where Hill was earlier on the day of the accident actually had its liquor license suspended until managers and staff went through additional training. Live in Manchester, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
We're talking about bank ties in a double.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Stray cat found in Salem reunited with family in Massachusetts after 4 years. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Cat missing for 4 years is now back home. The amazing story of Gigi's discovery began with a woman in Salem who was feeding the cat. While Gigi was living as a stray, the woman reached out to the Salem Animal Refuge League because she was moving and wanted to make sure that cat was still taken care of. Well, once Gigi made it to the shelter, turns out Gigi had a microchip. Took just a few more phone calls to track down the owner, but eventually Gigi made it back home to Haverhill.
Amazing.
Yeah,
4 years
four
later.
years later.
And she's safe and doing just fine. Back.
Wow, 4 years later. That is amazing. Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire unveils a new marker. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire has unveiled 2 new historical markers.
They honor Rock Rest, which is an historic home in Kittery Point, Maine, that was open to African-American travelers from the 1940s through the 70s. It was a time when many places were closed to black guests, even though Maine and New Hampshire didn't have Jim Crow laws. Clayton and Hazel Sinclair owned Rock Rest. They officially opened it as a guest house in 1946.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. National debate on raising the age to buy an AR-15 continues. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
That question tonight on AR-15 style weapons. Suspects in Uvalde and in Buffalo had both just turned 18 and both had just bought their AR-15 rifles. So we asked our Matt Gutman to take us to a Texas gun show to ask, would people there be willing to support the idea of raising the age in this country from 18 to 21? And what Matt heard from several people there might surprise you. Matt Gutman tonight with some rare moments of agreement in this country.
Just 2 weeks after the Uvalde school shooting, we headed to a gun show in Harker Heights, Texas, near Austin. We wanted to know if they'd be open to raising the minimum age to buy an AR-15 style rifle from 18 to 21. In Uvalde, authorities say the shooter turned 18 and bought his AR style rifle the very next day. And he bought a second one 3 days after that. 1 week after his birthday, he was at that school.
I'm Matt, ABC News. What's your name? Hudson.
We learn inside this gun show, the AR-15 style rifle is actually less expensive than most hunting rifles. And on this day, $100 off. Jake and Hudson are licensed dealers.
But how many of your buyers are 18?
I mean, percentage-wise, maybe 20%.
I bought so many guns when I was 18. I bought so many guns before I was 21, and it's my right.
And we ask, what do they tell young people, an 18-year-old customer, if they come looking to buy a gun?
If someone does come in and they want to buy a firearm,
a long gun at 18? Would you recommend an AR style or?
I would recommend it only for the hunting purpose, and because it's so lightweight, it's really good for beginning shooters.
In an eye-opening moment, we talked with a person who is running the gun show, who is not opposed to changing the age on some of these weapons. Aubrey Sanders has been running gun shows for 3 decades. And after Uvalde and after so many mass shootings, we ask, would you support raising the age to buy an AR-style rifle to 21?
Raising the age limit from 18 to 21, is that something that someone like you could agree to?
I could agree to that, yes. I know that you can't buy a pistol till you're 21.
Right.
You can't drink till you're 21. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know many 18-year-olds that are
responsible
enough or mature enough.
And it wasn't just Uvalde, Texas. It was an AR-15 style weapon used in Sandy Hook. 20 children, 6 adults killed. In Parkland, 14 students, 3 adults killed. And at that Buffalo supermarket where 10 were killed, authorities say the gunman bought that AR-15 style rifle days after his 18th birthday. In fact, 18-year-olds can legally purchase AR-15 style rifles in 43 states. Tonight, no Republican senator has publicly supported raising the age to 21. But in Texas, some of the surgeons who treated children rushed in from Uvalde also ask, why not raise the age? Dr. Ronald Stewart saw what that AR-15 did to these children, and sadly, he's seen it time and time again.
At close range with a small body, it's incredibly destructive.
And Matt Gutman with us tonight from Texas. And Matt, you were reporting in that you had many conversations there at the Texas Gun Show, many talks with responsible gun owners there, and that there were several moments of rare agreement on this idea of raising the age on AR-15 style rifles from 18 to 21.
And it went from the organizer, David, to this mother, Felicia, who was there with her 2 sons shopping for a handgun, who say that owning an AR-style weapon at 18 is just too young. But there did seem to be unanimous support for some sort of mandatory education, just as there is for a driver's license for anybody who wants to buy an AR-15 style weapon. David.
Really eye-opening and some thoughtful conversations you had there, Matt. Thank you. We should mention that our in-depth reporting on guns in America will continue right here on ABC News later tonight on Nightline, of course, streaming all evening long on ABC News Live. And tomorrow morning, our special report on the network, live coverage of a Capitol hearing, the gun violence epidemic that begins at 10 a.m. Eastern. And among the people the nation will hear from, a young girl, a student who survived in that Uvalde school. That's tomorrow morning.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.